So my name's Bagley, and I'm a photographer and cinematographer, primarily based in the ocean, doing documentary work. I film everything from huge waves all the way through to huge sharks.
My name is Chantelle. I am a commercial photographer and videographer. I'm also the founder and owner of Roseberry Studios. So a lot of my commercial work involves a lot of aspects. A client will pretty much want everything across the board, whether it be social or being able to blow up the images to billboard size. I'll be constantly jumping from stills to motion. With the R5C, I can use the same camera and just quickly switch over to stills or motion, using the same body. Sometimes I'll be shooting some stills and then I'll be like, oh, actually this would be really beautiful for motion. I can just quickly switch over and start actually filming motion for that particular look or that particular pose that the model's in, which is great.
The ocean is a wild place. It is turbulent, it is chaotic and beautiful all in one go. And the R5C truly allows me to capture the best imagery that I could ever want. So when I jump in the water, I always pair my R5C with my salty surf housing. Together, they're an unbeatable combo. The reason being is you're actually able to put a V-Lock battery inside the housing, allowing dummy power. That way I'm able to utilize my 8K RAW. It's absolutely unbeatable when it comes to a project or something like that. Being able to have full flexibility with the footage in post is literally night and day difference. Whenever I'm above the surface, it's shooting things like surfing, big waves, boards coming at you, sometimes jet skis. The last thing I've really got time to do is actually manually focus as well. There isn't any issue going through the acrylic ports at the front or anything else like that.
I like to get it as pretty good in camera so that I'm not spending so much time in post. Just having the ability to have accurate colors and not having to worry about image stabilization or focus and stuff like that just means that I can sort of focus on creating the assets that my client wants, remaining creative. Having the one camera that can do everything pretty great is really cool.
So we were in South Australia shooting a documentary, and I was lucky enough to be able to go out on a shark diving charter. We had about a 2-meter swell rolling in. The boat was going back and forth. The one thing I didn't have to worry about was my camera letting me down. With its stabilization, its autofocus capabilities, really allows me to perform at my highest in very uncontrollable scenarios. The R5C allows me to work fast and shoot fast.
I like shooting most of my footage handheld because it allows me to create dynamic images. It's incredibly lightweight, which means that holding it on set for 10-hour days is not a massive strain. Shooting stills on the R5C is great. The 45 megapixels really allows you to capture all the details. And what I do a lot is I'll crop into images later on to create really beautiful macro shots. So with the 45 megapixels, it means I can get in quite close without losing a lot of resolution.
When you're underwater shooting in those high frame rates, the ability to be able to shoot wildlife and being able to catch that in 100 or 120 frames a second in 4K and utilizing the dual base ISO in less than ideal lighting conditions has been the difference between me getting the shot and not getting the shot.
When shooting with models that aren't necessarily experienced with being in front of a motion camera, sometimes I really need to slow down the footage so that there's usable pieces in there. Sometimes they're moving from pose to pose really quickly. So being able to slow the footage right down just means that I've got more things to work with that I can play with in post. So having just a nice little camera that they're sort of already comfortable with is great because they're just sort of immediately just relax into their poses and stuff, and it's not super intimidating. It's really important to have a system like this that helps sort of contain the chaos, I guess.
To swim in critical conditions with something that small and versatile, both above the surface and below, it's a dream.